Hello. Yeah, hi. Good morning to all of you. So let's start. Sharing my screen. Hi. Good morning, Radhika. Good morning, Rama. Good morning, Arshad. Hi. Good morning, and Karan. You have just started these trainings. I think you were there today, and yesterday also you were there. Okay. So, yesterday, what we were doing was we had started out with the select statement. So these were a couple of statements that we did. That if you want to figure out only a couple of columns, or you want to reorder them, or what we can do is, right? So we saw certain commands like how you can order by if you want to sort the data, how you can use a where clause, and in the where clause, we were studying about the different type of operators that we have. So this is something that we were trying to study yesterday. So let's just get started ahead from there. Starting one. See, today we will be taking a look at, we'll start with the top clause. Okay, so top clause is something that we have in SQL Server, which we use if you have to fetch only initial few rows from that table, right? Like for example, when you write the query, select star from orders. First of all, let's just make a database active. So now see what we do is when we write the select star from orders. Okay, so what it does is it fetches the complete data from that table. Now suppose I just want to fetch the first 5 rows, right? So what I will do is I will say select top 5 star. So when you say top 5, right? So top 5 means it is going to give you only the first 5 rows in the output, right? So if we execute it, so now right, this will give you the first 5 rows.
Hi, I had a question. So
Yes,
when
please.
you're already specifying that we only want to view top five, do we need an asterisk?
Yeah, we need it. So because asterisk means all the columns. If you suppose only want to see 2 or 3 columns, you can write those column names. If you say you want to say select top 5 sales, so it will only give you the first five values from the sale from the column of sales. So when you write asterisk, so it gives you all the columns.
Top five columns. Okay. And we can also order them by any like, values.
Sorry.
We can also order them, right?
We can also order by that. So after this, if you want to write order by, you can do that. So I will be telling you something. There is a sequence in which we write the queries, that when the select comes, when the order by, and when the where, but all the things can be used together.
Okay.
Okay. See, now what happens is, the thing is that you might be wondering that why will you be using this command, right? Select top 5, right? So why will we write that we would just like to see the first 5 rows from that table? So what happens is basically, like, when you work in the real time scenario, when you work on the real time projects, and when you will join any firm, right? So what happens over there is the companies, they already have databases, created with them, and every database is very huge. It's very huge, right? Like, they will be having millions and millions of records in the tables. Now suppose you join that company, right? So I'm just giving you one use case which is very practical, and which is the reason where we use top command a lot. So what happens is, suppose you join that company, and now, because definitely once you join that company, first of all, you would like to have an understanding what kind of data they have kept in the different tables. Now, if by mistake you write on any table a query, select star from that particular table, and that table has, say, suppose millions of records. Now, what will happen is, in order to fetch all the data from that table, the query will take a lot of time, and it can sometimes it happens that the system goes into a state where you feel that the complete server has got hanged. But that won't be the case, because the data is so huge, it will take a lot of time to fetch that data for you. But what we do is, our idea is that we were just trying to understand what kind of a data do we have in that, and that is something that we can get an idea by just looking at some initial rows as well. So that is where, what people do is, the developers, they will only write a query, select top 100 star or top 200 star, so that they only fetch the initial 100 or 1,000 rows, to get a gist of an idea, to just get a view of that data, that okay, how or what kind of data do they have in that table. Because definitely you won't be reading all the million rows, you will be just going through the columns and trying to interpret what kind of data have they kept in that table. So that is where, this command is used a lot, to have a look at what type of data do we have in a table. Okay. Then what we have is, we have a clause which is distinct. Now distinct clause, as the name itself tell, this is used to fetch the unique values from the column, right? If you want to see the unique values, right, what are the unique values that you have in a particular column, we use distinct clause for that purpose. Suppose if you write select distinct category from orders, right? If you write this query now, select distinct category from orders, what this will do is, this will only give you the unique values that you have inside that column, right? So like in the category, in the data, we have only three kind of categories: office supplies, furniture, and technology. Okay. Now, similarly, suppose you want to see distinct regions, right? So what you can do is if you copy this and if you write over here, you want to understand what all regions, in which all regions do you operate. So you can write select distinct region from orders. Now, if you write this, it is going to give you the unique regions in that table, in that column.
Uh, for getting the entire table without any duplicate rows, can we just select distinct star from orders?
Yes, yes. So if you want to see, suppose all the unique rows in a table, or you want to see a combination of columns, right? Like for example, in this data, we have a category, we have subcategory. Now what happens is every category has some subcategories, right? That is like a sort of a hierarchy, right? Like every country has some states and every state has certain cities. Now what you want to do is you want to see what are the unique categories and subcategories that you have. So what I can do is I can say select category, comma, subcategory from orders. Now, if I write this query, this is going to give me unique values of categories and subcategories. So like in furniture, there is one subcategory bookcases. There is another subcategory that is chairs. Then you have in office supplies, there is one subcategory labels. In office, there is another subcategory that is tables. Okay, now this is the command. So now I am able to see unique pairs of categories and subcategories. Now, now let all of you be saying, like, if you take a look at this output, does this output look good to you? Is it good to interpret, or we can make a better output than this? Hmm. So yeah, no group by, so no, not group by possibly, but yes, Rama, we can sort, right? Because if you see right now, it's little tough for me to find out which all subcategories belong to furniture, which all subcategories belong to technology and office supplies, because all are coming in a little random sequence over here. So what I can do over here is now I can simply write the next clause over here. I can say the output that I'm getting, it should be order by category, right? I want to sort this data by category. So what will now happen is this data will get sorted on the base of column this. So if I run this now over here, so I can see, oops, sorry, I need to use distinct over here. So now I can see unique combination of all the furniture category and subcategory, then office supplies category and subcategory, and then technology category and subcategory. So now it's easier for me that, okay, I can say in technology there are 4 subcategories. In office supplies, there are again 5 or 6 subcategories. And in furniture, there are again 4 subcategories. Okay. So please.
Amit, you're on mute, Amit.
Okay. Right. So now, if you see, we have seen a couple of queries over here, right? If I see right now, so we have seen select, and under the select, in every query, we are using select over here in order to fetch the data. So in the select, we have seen like I can use where clause and I can use order by. And inside over here, I can use either right top or distinct. Okay, now this is what the sequence of queries should be, right? This is how you should be writing the sequence of queries when you write it. So if you want to apply a where clause also, and you want to sort the data also, and you only want to see initial top few rows or the unique values, this is what the sequence should go like, right? Like for example, let me give you all a task. Okay, so now all of you please try to write a query on this. I write a query to fetch the top 100 rows for the orders where category is furniture and sales is more than 300 and the data is sorted by profit. furniture. Okay, so right, so Radhika, you have written it and correct. Right, so how I will go over here right now is I will say select top 100 star from orders where category equals to furniture and sales is greater than 500. Order by just give me 1 second. Let me just plug in the charger. Okay. See, now, this query, so we are saying order by profit. And if I run this, I get initial 100 rows and I would be seeing that data would be only for the category furniture and the sales would be more than 500. And the data is sorted in the profit by ascending order, right? Because we have not written anything, so it becomes by default ascending. Now over here, I'm going to tell you something which is very important to understand, right? So like what you do is, if you see over here, the query that we have written, first of all, we have written select, then we have written where, and then we have written order by. Okay. Now we will also be adding some more clause in it, like group by and having, which we will be learning today. And I'll update the syntax over there. So what happened is syntactically, right? Syntactically, when we write a query, the sequence of the clauses that we write, it goes like this. First you write the select, then you write the from, like from which table you have to pick the data, then you write where, then you write order by. Okay. Now what happens is when you run this query behind the scenes, right? When SQL engine, right? When SQL Server engine, executes this query, how SQL executes the query is it follows a different sequence. First of all, it executes the from, then it executes the where, then it executes the select, and then it executes the order by. Okay, this is the sequence in which SQL engine is going to execute your query. You will write the query in this order, right? But how SQL engine executes behind the scene is this is the order that it follows. That means first of all, it will execute okay, and then it comes to the select. So what will happen in this case is, if you will see what SQL Server is going to do over here is, it is first of all it will go to the table from where the data has to be picked. Then it will apply a filter, right? Sorry, select this just. Right, it is going to apply a filter that from where, like what filter has to be applied on that data. Then it will come to the select, that okay, from the select, what do you want? You said that you want to see only top 100, right? Top 100 all the columns. Then it will execute select thing, and after the data gets selected, then what it is going to do is it is going to sort the data, right? So this is how basically the queries are executed. Okay. Now, first of all, it executes the select. And in case if you have written a top clause, now top is something that comes in the last, right? It puts the top and distinct in the last. So this comes in the very last over here. So first of all, SQL will going to execute from command, then the where command, then the select command, and then order by, and then finally in the last, it is going to execute top and distinct. Okay, now if you try to see from here, from the same query, what SQL would have done is it would have gone to the table of orders. It would have applied a filter that you only want to see the data of category is furniture and the sale is more than 500, right? And then you said that you want to select all the columns. It would have selected all the columns, sorted the data by profit, and then it would have only given you initial, the first 100 rows from that table. Okay, this is what happens when you actually try to write this query. Am I making sense to all of you? Okay. Now, and I will give you a more practical example of this where you will get to know that the sequence that I've given you over here, how it is making more sense. Now what I do is, let me write a query like select star from orders. Okay. Now what I would like to do over here is, let me try to calculate, let us try to create a column of price. Okay, if you see, we don't have a column of price in this. So if you want to have some calculated columns, right? If you want to add some calculated columns in your table like that, like suppose I want to add a column of price. Now, how can I calculate the price? Anyone who can tell me? Yeah, I don't have a price column, but still I can calculate it like a unit price. How can I get it? So no, so not sales minus profit. That will give me basically more like overall unit price. So it would be sales divided by quantity, right? Maybe I can say sales divided by quantity. That is going to give me the costing price at which I am selling it, right? So what I can do is, if I say select star comma, I say sales divided by profit. So in the select statement itself, what you can do is you can add your calculated fields as well. Sorry, not profit, quantity. Sales divided by quantity. If I say sales divided by quantity, now over here, what SQL is going to do is it is going to do this calculation for me. It will divide sales by quantity. Okay, let me write this query now. From orders. So my query has been executed. If I will scroll on the right hand side, it has given me the price, which is 261 divided by 2, which will give me 130.98. Okay, so all of you can please write this query.
Amit, I have a doubt. So why there is a comma after star?
So because so if you see, like whenever we specify the columns, when we specify just limited columns, right, we always we actually separate them with a comma, right? So like over here, when I said I want to see only select category and subcategory, so I said category comma subcategory, right? So when I say star over here, star means all the columns that are already there, that are present in that table. On top of that, I want to add a calculate column also.
Okay.
So that is why the next column that I wanted, for that I had to put a comma in this.
Okay.
Okay. So now if you see over here, this column that we have added, there is no name that is coming for this column right now, right? It's saying no column name, right? Because this is a calculate column, right? This was not there. This is a calculation that we have done on top of this. Now, please remember, right? Whenever you use select command is something that just shows you the output. It doesn't modifies the existing table. That means your orders table will not be, it will not add this column in the main orders table. Over there, it still has the columns up till here only, profit only. It is just for the output perspective, just that the output I wanted to see. Over here, it is showing me this new column that I have added. And for this column also, there is no column name. If you want to give a column name also to this calculation, what you will do is you will simply say as, and you can write it as price. As over here stands for alias. Right? Alias. Alias means a dummy name or a reference name. Okay. Now, if you will run this query again and execute it, it will also at the top, it is going to give this name now, price. And this dummy name, that we have given over here, this is something that you can use for any other column also, right? Let me show you what do I mean by that. Suppose I say select let's select product name, comma, category, comma, sales, comma, sales divided by quantity. Right now, when I say sales divided by quantity, the table name is from orders. Now I'm calling this as price. What you can also do is, like, this is a product name. If I say product name as item name. Okay, now if I call this product name as item name, so now for the output perspective, it is going to rename the column of product name as item name, like a dummy name it is. For the output perspective, it is going to give me a dummy name. See.
It does not change the table name in the database?
No. So anything that you will write with select clause, it is not going to change anything in the database or the tables. This is just for the output view. Okay. Now in this query, so I'll just wait so that I can all write this query. Okay. I hope all of you are clear on this. See, now what I do is, now what I'm going to do over here is, in this same query, I'm going to now write something like this, where price is more than 100. Okay. See, now I've written this query, select this complete query over here from orders where price is more than 100. Now, if I execute this, right now I have executed this. Now this query gives me an error. Okay, now this query gives me an error. that invalid column name price, but price is already there. I have a column of price. Then why do you think it is giving me an error over here?
Because
Table
maybe
name
it's
is
not in the table structure.
Hmm.
Maybe it is not in the table structure to perform the conditions.
Correct. So basically what happened is, like, as we discussed, that this is the order. This is the order in which the SQL in the backend engine performs or executes the query. So first of all, it goes to the from. So that means it picks up the table. It picks up the table orders. It goes directly to this command. Now, when it is coming to orders, in the orders, I do not have this column. And then after that, it comes to the where condition, where I've said where price is more than 100. Now, price was not there because price is something that is getting calculated when we come to the select statement. In the select statement, we have said that we want sales divided by quantity, which we will call it as price. So because of this, it gives me an error. So in order to overcome this thing, what I will have to do is I will actually have to write the same thing over here as well, where sales divided by quantity is more than 100, because now sales is also there, quantity is also there. Now SQL will be able to perform that calculation. So now if I run this query, it is going to give me the output.
Amit, can't we perform order by, or we can't use anything on price?
Order by you will be able to use. So now if you come over here, if
Only
you
the
say
where
order by,
condition we can't use, right?
because now if you say order by price, right? See, if you will run this, this is going to work. And the reason for that is because order by is something that gets executed after select statement.
Okay.
And in the select statement, the price is already has been created. So now query understand what price is. Okay. Shall I move ahead? Now what we're going to do is we are going to study the next clause. So before we study the next clause, which is group by, over here I'm going to, we are going to study some aggregate functions. Okay, so like in Excel, we have the functions sum, count, average, minimum, maximum. So those functions are called as aggregate, right? Because aggregate, the meaning of aggregate is that which calculates number of data points and give you one single number in return, right? When you say sum of numbers in Excel, it adds up all the numbers and it gives you one single number after the addition. Similarly, if you say minimum from all the numbers, it gives you one single number, that is the minimum number from that list. So those are called as aggregate functions and they are available in SQL as well, right? Like if suppose if you come over here and if you say select sum of sales, right? If you say select sum of sales from orders, now what this is going to do is it will add up the column of sum and it will tell you this was the total sales. Okay, this is going to give me select. If you say sum of sales, it gives me total sale. So we have a couple of functions, like we have sum, we have count, minimum, maximum, average. So these are all aggregate functions. Okay. See now, if suppose you want to see the minimum, so you can say select min of sales from orders. So it is going to give you the minimum sales value. That is 0.44. You want to see minimum and maximum together. So you can say max of sales also. So it will show you both minimum and maximum together. And if you see the no column names are coming, now we know how to rename them. So if I write over here as maximum, sorry, this was minimum, and this I call it as maximum. So it is going to give that header names, the column names also, so that it's more easier to understand which is the minimum value, which is the maximum. Although from the value we can interpret, but still it's always a good idea to show it as the header name. Okay. If you want to see the count, right? Count is something you want to see, count the number of rows. So if you say select count, now for count, what you can do is you can simply write asterisk. Asterisk means count all the, for all the columns, just count the rows. If I say select count of asterisk from orders, so what this is going to give me is the count of rows. So we have 994 rows in the data. Please do these two questions. Right, so what we need to do is we need to count the number of transactions for East region. Now that means we need to filter out the data. We need to keep the data only for East region, and then we have to make that count. So what I can do now over here is, if I come over here and if I say select count of star from orders where region is equals to East, right? This is going to give me the count of all the transactions that happen for the East region, right? So I've applied a where clause on this. If I execute it, it gives me 2848. And same way, if you want to calculate the total sales for furniture, So that will become select sum of sales from orders where category is equals to furniture. Right, so now just following the sequence. First my data gets filtered for category furniture, and then the sales are added. Same way over here the data is filtered for region east and the number of transactions are counted. Okay. Now same way if you want to calculate the average. So for average we have the formula that is AVG. If you write AVG of sales, that means it is going to calculate the average sales where the category is furniture. Yep. Everyone, are we clear on this? Anusha, Harshad, absolutely already shared. Rama, Karan.
Yeah. Hi, Amit, can we round off the numbers? Decimal place?
Yes, we can do we can do that. So we will be studying that in the functions. But yeah, if you want to, I can show you over here only as well. So what we can do is this average that we are calculating, we will have to wrap this inside the round function. So if you will say round off this average sales up to comma 1 decimal place. So now I'm saying I want to round this number up to 1 decimal place. So now if you run this, see it has rounded off. And the same thing you will apply over here as well, that the sum of sales that we are calculating, I would like to round this off over here, comma 1. When you say 1 up to 1 decimal place, or if you want up to 2 decimal place, you can write 2 also. So if I now execute this, so it rounds it up. Now, the next thing that we're going to see over here is that is the group by, right? Now group by, because this is something that in the group by clause, we will be using this aggregate functions only. Group by is a clause we use to summarize the data. Okay, right now what is happening is we have the data at a row level. We have transactional level of data that for a particular order ID, what product was purchased and how much sales had happened, and we have all that information. And if you all remember, right, when in the Excel we studied pivot tables. So the use of pivot table in Excel was to actually summarize the data, right? We used to drag and drop the columns, and then when we used to drag the column of category and we drag the column of sales, it used to give us the total sales for each category. Now similar is the concept that we have with a group by also. Now for example, we have 3 categories, right? I have 3 categories with me. what I would like to do is I would like to see the sum of sales for each category, right? Like if right now, if you see over here, we were calculating the sum of sales for furniture, where we had said that where category equal to furniture. If I want to see the sum of sales for office supplies, you will have to write where category equal to office supplies, right? That is only you will be able to, that is how you will be able to get that sum of sales for different categories. But in order to overcome that thing, we have something called as group by clause. Now, if you say, so all of you can just watch for a minute and you can all write the queries. If I say select category, comma, sum of sales from orders. Now I am saying I want to select the category and the sum of sales from this table. And then I am saying group by. This data should be grouped by category. Okay, so when I say data should be grouped by category, now what will happen is if I'll run this query, you see the output that I get is that this is the sum of sales for office supplies, this is the sum of sales for furniture, and this is the sum of sales for technology, right? So you can see the total sales. You can see the total sales for all the three categories over here, right? So now please first of all understand the logic over here, what we have done in this, right? That is where you will be able to start making more sense of this. So what happens over here is if I just run this much query, if I'm running just this much query, now this query is not going to work. Why? Because I am saying that from orders table, I want to pick the column of category and sum of sales, right? Now, when we say category, right? So if I say select category from orders, so what is going to happen over here is it is going to select the entire column. Okay. And when I write the same thing and I say that select sum of sales from orders, now this portion is going to give me one single number, right? So when I say category and sum of sales together, so this is going to give me 10,000 row, 10,000 values, and this is going to give me only one single value. So SQL cannot keep or it cannot put 10,000 rows and one value together into two columns. Okay. That is where what we do is we have to give a clause over here that is group by. That means the data should be grouped on the basis of category. That means for each category, the sum of sales has to be calculated. And that is what we would like to see in the output, right? So that is where the group by clause is used. So if I say group by category, now the data will be grouped by category and that is how you will see the output then. Making sense? That now it is saying, okay, first of all, now from orders will be executed and then group by will be executed. Where what SQL will do is it will break the data into three parts. One data for office supplies, one data for furniture, and one data for technology. And then it will come back to the select statement. And because over there we have written that I want to see the data on the basis of category and sum of sales, it will do the summation and it will show you the data for each category now. So this is how the group by clause actually functions in the backend. Got it? So please try to write this query now. Okay, are you able to write it? Okay. Now calculate the average sales for each region. Okay, so right, so this perfect, right? So I can just copy this. If we run this, so we get average sales for each region. Now, what I would like to do is, I want to see the data like this, where I would like to see calculate the sum of sales for category and subcategory. Right? Basically, what I want to see is I would like to see the output at a level where I should be able to see the category and subcategories both. Right? Like in office furniture, we have a couple of subcategories. In office supplies, we have another some categories. So I should be able to see the category and the subcategory name and the total sales. Right? Like in this, now what we want is we want two columns. So what I do is, now let me try to write this query. If I say select category, comma, subcategory. From orders, group by. See, now what I've done is I am saying I want to see category and subcategory, right? Plus I would like to see the sum of sales. From orders. Now what I will have to do is I will have to say group by both these columns. Now I want the grouping to happen at two levels. So first of all, you can take a look at it, then you can just understand it. See, now what it does is it gives me an output breakup by category and subcategory both. Now let me just sort this first. I say order by category. So now what will happen over here is you can see in this output that we have the category and subcategory. I can see that in furniture category, there is one subcategory furniture and the sale for that subcategory was this. Then in furniture, there is another subcategory that is chairs and the sale for that was this. So you can see all the sales values coming up over here like this over here. Okay, so for each category and subcategory, basically it gives you a more level of information that you are able to see the category also and subcategory also and the total sales for each subcategory. Okay, so if you have to see those two columns, you have to write the columns in the same sequence and both the columns have to come in the group by as well.
Hi, Amit. In this, if we want that it should be ordered by category, subcategory, and then the highest profit should be on the top for a particular category.
You can do that. So if you want the category, so technically, if you will order by category and subcategory and sales,
Sales, yeah.
So sales is one only, right? So it is not going to have an impact. The sales would have made more sense if we had multiple sales value, because now in the group by what has happened is, like if you see for this furnishings, we have just one row. If the data gets sorted by furnishing, so the number is one only, so it is not going to impact the sorting anywhere. But yeah, if you want to write that, if you want to see, so it will be category, comma, subcategory. You will just write that over here, and comma, you want to sort by sales also, you can say sum of sales. So this is how you can write all that sorting. So now if I'll show you, you'll take a look at it output. See in now furniture, then we have four subcategories. Now B, C, F, T, right? So the subcategories are coming in a sorted order, in ascending order. Now for each subcategory, we only have one sales value, so that the same number is coming. So you can we can see that the sorting is little not up to the mark over here. That is because we don't have multiple values.
But if we do order by category, remove the subcategory and round off the sum sales and do it descending.
Then it will make an impact. So if I now make it descending,
Yeah.
if I execute this, right? So now you will see the data for each category, right? For furniture, first we have the highest sales, second highest, third highest, and the fourth highest. Then again, the sorting starts fresh for office supplies, highest sales, second highest, third highest, it's in the descending order. And then when the technology starts again, over here, it's again in the descending order. So now it's making sense. So the data has been sorted according to that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, all of you write a query to fetch the average sales and average profit for all the segments. Okay. And even should write it. So Rama, Harshad, you have done it. Others? Okay. So I see most of you have written this. So Karan, yours is not right because basically you need to group the data as well by segment, right? So what we need to do is we need to write a query to fetch the average sales and average profit for all the segments. So if I show you select star from segment or select star from orders. So we have a column of segment over here. So for each segment, I want to see the average sales and average profit. So what I will do is I will simply say select segment, comma, average sales, comma, average profit from orders, group by segment. So now this is going to give me the correct output that we are looking out for. So the query that you have written, so in that case, what will happen is it will only give you the average sales and average profit for our entire data. Okay. Now what happens is with group by, we can use a clause that is having, right? That is having. Now, for example, let me run this query. So all of you can just take a look at it once, then you all can write it. So now what I do is if I write this query over here, that select category, subcategory, sum of sales, and I want the data to be grouped by the sum of sales, and this is a summary that I get. Okay, where I could see that total sales for each subcategory and to which category they belong. Now from this summary, right, from this summary that we have created, if I want to filter out the data, see one filtering we have seen in the where. Now in the where clause, what happens is the filtering that happens at the entire table level. Okay, in the entire table level, right? So let me tell you what do I mean. So if I say select star from orders where sales is greater than 500. So what happens is when you use a where clause goes into each and every row of this table. It is going to go in every row of this table and it will check if the sale are more than 500, then it will show in the output, otherwise not. Okay, this is what happens in the where clause. But having is something that can be used only with group by. Having can only be used with group by, right? And what it does is having filters the data after creating the summary. After the summary is created, after that it is going to filter the data for us. Okay, having filters the data after creating the summary. So now if I say over here group by category and subcategory, having, right, suppose I say having sales more than, I say 50,000, right? So first of all, what is going to happen is the summary is going to be created, which would be this. Now from this summary, what I'm saying is I only want to see not sales, sum of sales. Having sum of sales more than 50,000. Now from this summary, I only want to keep that data where the total sale was more than 50,000, right? Like if I see in this fasteners, the sale is only 3,000. In this envelopes, the sale is 16,000. So what I've done is I am trying to see only those subcategories where the sales are more than 50,000. So if I execute this now I'm only left with 12 such subcategories where the sale is more than 50,000. Okay. So group by and having, they are used together. Now having cannot be used without group by, and having is going to filter the aggregated data, and whereas filter where clause is something that filters the row level data. I hope I'm making sense to all of you. Okay, so now please just try this out. I hope you are able to write it. See, now you know what I have done is I have shared an exercise with all of you, right? This is an exercise, the SQL exercise 1. And in this, you won't be able to do all the questions right now, but you will be able to do up till the first 10 questions on the base of concepts that we have done. Okay. And how this exercise has to be worked upon. So in this Word document, there is a SQL query that is attached. Okay. If you will open this SQL query will open up in your SQL server. Okay. If you open this up, if you will open it up, this query is going to open up in the SQL server. What this will do is this will create, and you have to just run this complete query, select the complete query and execute it. What this will do is this will create a database by the name of employee management. It will create two tables by the name of employees and departments. It will insert the data in those tables. So your database and your tables will be ready. Okay. And before you run this query, I will request that you all also should go through this query, because this query you should all be able to understand, because we have already written the similar stuff by ourselves in the classes, in the classroom, like how to create a table, then how to create a second table, then how to insert a data. So all that is written. So once you will execute this complete query, this is going to create a database. And based on that database, you have to attempt these questions over here. Okay. So first 10 questions you all should be able to do. And if you are able to do some more questions also, that is a good stuff. Otherwise, there are certain concepts that we will be doing tomorrow. And after that, you will be able to attempt those questions also. Okay, so I hope you all have received this file. Right. So this is where I think we'll take a pause for today. So anything you would like to ask or discuss before we close the session? Okay, so no questions. So that is where I think we can take a pause and let's meet tomorrow then. Okay, so thank you everyone. See you all tomorrow. Sure. Thanks, Radhika. Thanks, Asha.